is Nariko Sai, and today we are reacting to Doom Eternal Review Alpha Male Gaming Amogus Edition by Max0r. I have never watched Max0r before. This will be my very first time seeing Max0r at all, so...
I swear to God, if you throw me into that portal, I will fuck you. You were never one of us. You were nothing but an imposter. Among us!
Among Us!
Roommates among us.
Among Us! Did he say son?
Doom Eternal is a game with so much testosterone dripping from its orifices that it
Oh my God.
causes create a sun via mitosis. In this
A lot is
adventure, you
happening.
play as John Doom, a man
John
stricken with
Doom!
irrationally severe autism who does not consider or think through his actions and effects on other people.
Just like
and
me.
in his quest to save mankind, kills God,
This
and
reminds me of
Satan
Pippa.
God, who is also himself. If this in-depth and engaging hardcore male gameplay sounds appealing, then I've got the game for you. This
the
game is of
coder
course the sequel to the
fanboys.
critically acclaimed Doom 2016 with a few key differences.
Alright then, buddy. I'm going to shit yourself.
What?
Which meaningfully extends and builds off of the gameplay and challenges that we love. Then extends them some more off of a fucking cliff until the product that emerges out the other side
A lot
resembles
is
cracked
happening.
concentrate. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you've probably played the game since I don't actually
No.
want to help people buy things. I'm here to entertain
I've never
people,
played
and if you're
any Doom
clamoring for
game.
entertainment and haven't purchased this game yet, do yourself a favor. There's enough male hormones here to transition someone, and I can guarantee you results, my fellow
can be a
Sigma
boy!
males. So
Did
whether
he
you're a
just-
psychopath like
I'm
me
sorry,
or
did he
new
just
to
kill Heavenly? I'm sorry, can we... I'm sorry, did
Do
he just
yourself a
slice
favor.
through
There's
Heavenly?
enough male hormones here to transition someone, and I can guarantee you results, my fellow Sigma males. So whether you're a psychopath like me or new to modern Doom games, come with me on this amazing journey through Twitch gameplay,
This is a
beautiful
lot.
environments, nonsensically
Woo!
fucked up lore, and remixed Mongolian throat singing. For money
Oh.
is temporary, but
I
Doom
like
is
throat singing.
eternal. I would say that Doom Eternal's gameplay is quite unique, and not for the reasons that you would think. Everything in Doom
Okay.
Eternal is funneled directly into a single, robust, multifaceted, multinational, and unilaterally combat system, from which the entire game is built around. But Max0r, I hear
Huh?
you thinking, that's every game ever. Yes. Every good game ever. If I, for instance, became 12 and booted up GTA 5, I would be able to do at least a dozen unfun activities. Doom's design is focused harder than the average Persona fan on his local playground, and that is special. You will play the game in the way that is fun, or you will lose. So as good as 2016 was, a Polygon journalist could beat the first half, and that's unacceptable, because yes, it is actually unfun to play games after having a lobotomy. In other games,
What?
I get to choose between things like stealth,
Why are we
vehicles,
having
or outright
lobotomies?
combat. Yet Doom Eternal asks the question, why not force you to use every mechanic all the time without stopping? In a world where AAA studios try to pander to everyone, it's refreshing to have a game that sets out to do one thing the best, and actually have developers who give a shit about linear design and gameplay. And the main component of that gameplay is the arsenal, because John
There's
Doom
so
uses every
many
weapon throughout
ways
the
to
game. The
kill.
first shotgun is used in the last level, and the last level is used by the first shotgun. When you get an upgrade, it isn't a replacement, it's a genuine addition to your arsenal. Every one of them has specific
Ooh.
uses, and yet these don't interfere at all. They enhance. How do I kill an enemy? Well, shoot his hands off, fire a rocket, fire a ballista, fire flame, freeze him, fire on his freeze and throw shotgun, shotgun, brain aneurysm. Just as
Shotgun!
important as how you kill is how you heal and how you restore. Fortunately, the aggression of this game
Shotgun,
rivals my
shotgun.
dog in a kindergarten. Like real
What?
life, the only way to get ahead of the competition is to kill them. How do I heal when low? Kill them. How do I get ammo back? Kill them with a chainsaw. In addition, most weapons in the game have two mods which completely change their behavior. Such stunning examples would be the microwave beam, the automatic shotgun, and the fucking destroyer blade. God, that's just cool. But on top of 8 weapons, 12 mods, and a declining mental state, we keep going. More than any one weapon, you'll be using your suit abilities, and they all have individual buttons. This is in addition to the 8 that you use for weapons. These would be things like zoom for fast, grenade for death, Swedish grenade for life, punch for no reason,
This
and
is
a
a
flamethrower for
two-hand.
armor.
You can't-
I
you
play
can't
Invoker
play
in
this
Dota 2,
one
and this
hand.
shit makes me
Huh.
play my keyboard like it's the fucking Moonlight Sonata. I thoroughly recommend playing PC and never using the weapon wheel for maximal
Rest in peace, one-handed gamers. This is a two-hand game.
Ritalin output. And if you can't switch weapons fast or play on easy mode, That's fine, man. We're all busy. How about I
That's
give you
true.
2 more buttons? You thought I was done.
What?
There's 2 ways to
There's
kill a
more
demon in Doom
buttons?
Eternal. The fun way or the funny way. And to maximize the funniness level, we have the Crucible, which is a direct, instantaneous kill on every enemy.
Oh.
Giant area boss, dead. Previous area boss, dead. The final boss, fuck 'em. Now I hear you thinking,
What?
Josh, that sounds pretty strong. Oh boy, buckle your ass. Because the second super weapon on my extensive list of 2 things is the BFG, which canonically stands for Big
Boyfriend
Fucking
gun?
Also canonically,
Oh.
it fires a hole directly into the core of Mars.
Oh.
Hole into the surface of Mars.
Yeah, I can. Don't tell me
Now,
what I can and
could kill
can't
an enemy
do.
the long way, or I could kill him and his dog faster than the ATF
Not
in
the
Waco. It clears out
dog! What?
everything you can see instantly. I am so thankful the game limits how many times you can do this. Now, I understand that at first this may seem complicated, but that just isn't true because the entire game is effectively a tutorial for hard mode. And because
What?
you're always learning as you play,
Is
it
it a
never feels
tutorial?
stale. Doom even lets you choose what stats and runes to upgrade. I spec'd entirely into
runes?
mobility and ammo, making my character a flimsy, crack-addled spider monkey. As a side note, we
He
should
snorted
release dozens
coke,
or
huh?
possibly hundreds of macaques into New York City. They can survive there. Why does Thailand get to keep all of the good monkeys? So what more is there to learn about Doom
There are a
Eternal?
lot of monkeys.
Well, have you ever given thought to the various unwashed baboons that I'm fighting? The answer may shock you. Those
Oh.
are the... As you may have guessed,
yeah,
there
yeah,
are
I got
at
all
least
that.
3, perhaps 4 demons in the game, which is a lot for someone who is a small, blonde anime lolly such as myself. But it's the
Huh?
variety of the demons that
He's
make
a
the game
woman?
interesting. Demons can fly, they can roll around like hedgehogs, contract obesity, and be bastards. Who is Sandy Loam? Who is Tsushima? Amy Rose? I didn't know she could stand. The point of the entire
Oh.
game, therefore, is to balance targets, switch weapons, and scream internally as you repeatedly fail to be cool. Just like high
Watson!
school. What I'm getting at is every demon has completely different behavior and goals from one another. The Doom Hunter rolls around in a comically small tank. The zombies, like us, exist to die. And the Marauder
Oh.
produces controversy. He does a lot of damage, blocks your attacks, fights you at wild speeds, and can only be attacked after blatantly signaling so. I personally have no issue with him, as I find the challenge fun and engaging. And if you don't, I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm saying you're bad. I'm not getting into the details for each one, since that's not funny, but don't worry, there are 27 of them without DLC. And if you're wondering
Oh.
why I'm fighting the entire cast of Dante's Inferno, you're actually the minority. This game tries at every moment to make exposition collectible. Why is there just a fucking big spear in the planet, and why is heaven comprised entirely of moth people?
You cannot stop.
The moths are angels, you know? Like,
It feels like one guy wrote the
know.
events of the game, and another guy invented LSD just to write the backstory. So I'm going to combine both of them into a single, accurate interpretation of the Doom lore. If I say something objectionable, just pretend that it's right.
Alright, lore time, lore
One
time!
Brazilian years ago, there was a guy named the Dad who was effectively
Uh-huh.
God, and he made moths in lamp heaven called the Makers. Every 10,000
Uh-huh.
years, all moths combine their collective consciousness into
Moth
one
women.
gigamoth called the Khan Maker, who is the
Ooh.
Moth Pope. So the moths rule over the galaxy,
love the
sort
Moth
of, until
Pope.
Earth happens, and then we start fucking everything up. The Moth Pope finds John Doom after a spree of murders, and he explains to her that yes, hell exists. It's weird that humans knew about hell before God. Anyways, the Moth Pope, after finding out that hell is real, very reasonably decides to sacrifice a planet to it. See, it turns out that God literally pieced the fuck out like 10 million years ago and let the moths do whatever they wanted. So now the Khan Maker cannot be replaced and cannot die, so she sort of goes insane from the constant immortality. Now the
Aw.
plan is to get some of that sweet
Poor
hell energy
moth.
by repeatedly sacrificing entire
Oh.
planets to the Dark Lord
No,
in exchange for
no.
it. Meanwhile, a sentient robot named Samuel Hayden is very busy on Mars.
Oh my
Earth has this
God.
problem called
Holy
climate change, and we
yappies.
need to find a new energy source. So instead of something hard and difficult like solar power, Samuel Hayden is like, what if we extract this cool blue energy from hell? Also, it's on
Yeah.
Mars.
Oh.
Earth does this until Hell begins breaking into Mars and John Doom stops them, which is the plot of Doom 2016. This makes Samuel Hayden mad because he's funded by the Koch brothers and really doesn't want to build a windmill. So instead of destroying the demonic crucible, he just brings it back to Earth and catapults John Doom into the backstory planet. If you think that sounds unreasonable, just remember that we considered blotting out the sun before building a fucking solar panel.
I only
That's true.
wanted for the good of humanity.
Unsurprisingly, demons invade to recycle Earth into blue energy for the Moth Pope, so John Doom has to fight both Catholics and hell. And as you go through the game, you might notice that it just brings up random shit at will. Like, oh sorry, the Soul Factory is being held there by 2 gigantic titans, and it's like, okay, I guess Attack on Titan is real now. Doomslayer, you'll need this knife to kill my son. Oh shit, what'd he do? He's the
Giant uncontrollable demon titan.
The plot of the main game,
Oh,
to understate it, is
what a lovely
psychotic
son.
and acts as an increasing checklist of galactically convoluted tasks. Just in this one game, John Doom finds an ancient city like 3 times, goes to the North Pole to kill Santa, fights Croatia, does a little trolling, does a little cockfighting, invades heaven,
God.
and permanently kills God, but we'll get back
love
to that.
God.
Doom 2016 took place on Mars, but this game has you slung around the universe on a fucking bungee cord, so I understand completely when people say they don't play Doom Eternal for the plot. They're just wrong. I play Doom Eternal for the plot, and that might sound strange to you, but Eternal's plot is pure insanity, and it does everything that it needs to. We are painfully aware that the plot exists as a contrivance because the environmental designer went fucking ballistic. I just don't
It's
care.
so
I played every
cool.
single level, gleefully wondering, oh boy, what stupid shit is next? I cannot fucking wait. So play the game for the plot. It is integral to the experience of Doom Eternal. Oh, but Max0r, there's a plot hole. How did the Doomslayer get the first? Everything I've said so far, except some of it, applies in full partially to the base game. But there's $40 redos of DLC where the gameplay is faster, the challenge harder, and the plot somehow even fucking worse in all the right departments. 2016 was a wash. Eternal is Usain Bolt, and the ancient gods is fucking Venezuelan inflation. You thought it was over when John Doom beat the demons and destroyed all of heaven, but you were wrong. That's just the beginning. And with both parts of the DLC now fully out, my recommendation cannot be understated. Let's get into why, and more importantly, what. This section of the video
Oh, we're
is
gonna
going
fight
to be different, far
God.
more structural, and aligned with the plot of the DLC.
Oh,
Because the
I
gameplay
saw
isn't what's
Booba.
new about the
Oh,
product, it's
Booba.
the challenge and the story. I originally wrote
I
an
love
entire script for
plot.
this and then trashed it because it doesn't truly communicate how this DLC drove me to insanity, and I hard cope by simping for 2D women. I will tell you if there's a very big gameplay change, but the point of the DLC is more of what's amazing. If you like Doom Eternal, you will like the DLC. Period. Okay, so Samuel Hayden, you might know him for his various appearances on political YouTube debates advocating for carbon positivity. It turns out that he's not a robot, he's a fucking angel. Also, John
What?
Doom's Alexa is God. That's not a joke or exaggeration. His name is Vega, and he's the physical remnant of God's consciousness in AI form. So Samuel,
Hey,
now a
Alexa.
fucking divine being, wants you to revive him since both God and Satan are trapped in volleyballs. At this point, the video can't count as spoilers because it makes no fucking sense. The first DLC is essentially trolling because you kill God. Why? Well, obviously to revive Satan, exclusively so you can fight him.
What a
Of particular note here on
gamer!
the gameplay side is the final boss, who is Samuel Hayden, because holy shit, this fight is hard. Also, the premise is ridiculous, and my enjoyment of the game is hurt by neither. Every aspect of this is speedy, fun, and everything else I've already said about the game in general. And when you finally beat Samuel and revive the Dark Lord, it turns out he's you.
Oh.
The only thing in the world that could possibly kill John Doom, himself.
Oh!
No blood can be spilled
She just keeps shooting!
in this holy blood.
So now the not you decides to go to hell where we all belong, and the second DLC is just chasing him. This is, of course, where the testosterone moves into critical levels. How does one get to the cabinet city of hell? Well, that's a great question. First of all, go to the planet of Argentinur, light the bat signal, learn how to train your dragon.
Oh, we're
Go
training
into the
dragons!
giant spear that pierces the entire planet for some reason, get the key to the Gate of Divum. Now go back to Earth, traverse the Last of Us 2, and find the Gate of Divum. But before I get to the final showdown with Crash Bandicoot Twin Sanity, there's some cool gameplay I want to talk about. You have a fucking hammer in this DLC, primarily used to defy the laws of gravity, but secondarily gives you everything in the game. Health, no problem. Ammo, absolutely. My deepest, darkest urges, yes. As I used this, I became more obsessed with
That
hammers
seems
than
so
Bob the fucking
satisfying.
Builder. And there's plenty of demons to use it on, since the DLC adds a shitload of reskins. For instance, the Spirit is a congealed amphetamine mass that makes every infested target
he
3
say
times faster.
methamphetamine?
Microsoft Pinball, who is fun to fight, I promise. And the Blood Maker. fuckers. They are my original OC. Do not steal it. So now that we've reached Cleveland, it's time for the DLC to gain style. This is the culmination of
I
all of
love
our work.
style.
The
Oh my
final battle
God.
against Satan himself. And
Oh, hi,
holy shit,
Satan.
you can feel it. When the Sentinel army shows up and everyone's ready to kick ass, you just can't help but feel like your dick is being tickled. Cleveland
Whoa.
lives up to the hype
Whoa.
too, for once, because
I
it's a
don't know about
non-stop
mine.
battle
I'll have
of
to
epic
check on that
proportions
later.
right up until the final boss. This is a universe which implicitly acknowledges your godlike power by making the only credible threat to you your identical twin with red eyes in a Gundam. That is called fucking gameplay. And it's a
I
beautiful
love
send-off
Gundam.
right up until the man himself, who awkwardly waddles around the arena like a penguin, but that's fine, the fight is still cool. Wow, you know, it's so sad that Steve Jobs died of Ligma.
Who the hell is Steve
Steve
Jobs?
Ligma balls. Got him! Now, before we defenestrate, there's a few details I want to talk about that truly complete this game, make it a real 10 out of good. Firstly, I would
10 out of
classify
good?
the music of this game as metal without guitars, and I fucking dig it so much. How do you make metal without a guitar? Well, you sample Mongolian throat singing and your lawnmower. It just sounds so good. Normally,
It
music isn't
does.
very important, but it's so good that it becomes important. And the role it plays in setting your mood is vital. Also, the main composer, Mick Gordon, like me, watches virtual YouTubers every waking second of his day.
YouTubers!
Great
Hey, I'm
minds
one
think
of
alike. In
those!
fact, most of the music in this video is just Doom
I'm
Eternal
one of
soundtrack. Guess
those!
you'll have to rewatch it over and over again to really listen. Finally, this game looks really good. Not
The
in a,
creature has
oh
been
wow, look
released.
at all these particles I'm stroking out way. It's more like, how does literally anyone have time to model all of the geometry in the game? It is
Yeah, it's
unreal. It is so
crazy.
downright inspired that it makes you feel bad while playing it. Doom Eternal is such a fast and pulse-pounding game that it's like sprinting through the fucking Louvre. How am I supposed to appreciate the Mona Lisa when it looks like this? Should you buy the game? Yes, I am very biased. If speed and action is what you crave and you want to induce cardiac arrest early, this is your game. I would like to thank the
This is
Demonic
really
Brotherhood funding this
cool.
channel in exchange for their souls. If you would like to engage in blood sacrifice on my behalf, you can head to my Patreon to learn more. Thank you all for watching, and of course, run, they're coming.
Can I be honest? That felt like a fever dream. That felt like an actual slurs.